From Brianna's character just being plain annoying to Jack Randall's shockingly brutal assault on Jamie. Here are the times Outlander pissed off fans. The historical drama is a total fan favorite, but no show is perfect, and this one certainly has its flaws. Take Brianna, for example. Fans just can't stand this girl. Ever since the 4th season, Brianna has been getting on people's nerves with her time-traveling shenanigans. You know how she discovers her mom's a time traveler and decides to follow her back to Scotland in the 1700s? That wasn't the smartest decision on her part. One Redditor said they used to hate Brianna when she was in the 1900s, but that was because she didn't have many scenes. Now she's hogging the spotlight, and they can't stand her. But that's not even the worst of it. Some fans hate the character so much they decided to quit watching the show altogether. Then there's this whole drama with Roger, her future husband. Apparently, he said some hurtful things when she turned down his proposal, but she didn't cut things off with him. Talk about questionable choices. Here's the thing that's got everyone riled up the most though. Jamie advises Brianna against being a single mother, and she acts like it's the worst thing anyone could say to her. It might not be the worst thing that can happen these days, but back in the 1700s, that was just how things were. Fans think she should have understood that, especially considering she's a historian. Despite all the Brianna drama, she didn't pack up and head back to the future. After a failed attempt to return in season 5, she and Jamie have settled into their new lives on Fraser's Ridge. It looks like they've found their permanent home after all. Brianna is pretty frustrating and pisses fans off a lot with her choices. But guess what? She's not the worst thing about the show. Let's talk about the worst ranked episode of the show, one that majorly puts fans off. It's called Creme de Menthe from season 3, and boy did it hit rock bottom in ratings. In this episode, Claire, being the dedicated surgeon she is, follows her conscience, even if it means putting her and Jamie's lives in danger. Meanwhile, Jamie's trying to dodge the Crown's reach as they close in on his shady dealings. Talk about a stressful situation, but here's the thing. Many fans felt that the love between Jamie and Claire, which is like the heart and soul of the show, seemed non-existent in this episode, and that's a major bummer. One fan said, "The show is going downhill," and that's basically the worst thing you can ever say. Fans also felt the episode was filled with boring scenes that didn't flow well, calling it 50 minutes of meh. Everyone watches Outlander for the epic love story and thrilling adventures, not some young dude trying to get lucky, right? There were even calls for the show to stay true to the original story and capture the passion and emotion of the characters. Diana Gabaldon, the incredible writer behind the Outlander series, deserves better than whatever this episode was. Some fans were disappointed by the odd storylines and believed the episode focused on the wrong things, instead of giving us what they love about Outlander, which is drama, magic, and that good old Jamie and Claire romance. They just went overboard with weird plots here. It just goes to show that Outlander can be disappointing at times, like the time Jamie and Claire's daughter was stillborn. In the episode titled Faith, things took a dark and devastating turn. Claire had been going through a tough pregnancy all of season 2, and just when we thought things couldn't get any worse, the baby, a sweet little girl named Faith, was stillborn. This was one of the most heartbreaking moments of the whole show. The audience has grown to love these characters. We've all seen them falling in love with each other, and the thought of losing a child hit hard. What's more, the episode didn't hold back in showing Claire's grief. They really showcased her sadness, her tears, and her screams of pain. The flashback scene at the end, where she clung onto her lifeless baby for a whole day? Gut-wrenching, doesn't even begin to cover it. TV shows have tackled miscarriages before, but a stillborn delivery? Some fans felt it was a bit much. They believed the show was intentionally toying with their emotions. They were hoping to see more of the passionate love story between Jamie and Claire. Instead, they were hit with heartbreak and disappointment. Outlander has always been known for its roller coaster of emotions. It takes us on highs and lows, and that's the beauty of the show. But everyone needs a moment of relief, and fans were rooting for some happiness for our favorite couple. Instead, all we got was more pain and disappointment. Speaking of the show messing up love stories, let's talk about Brianna and Roger, the most annoying couple on the whole show. They really came as a surprise because Outlander is known for its steamy, passionate romances. I mean, Jamie and Claire? Whew, their chemistry is off the charts. And whenever they're around each other, it's all fireworks. Not their daughter and her beau, though. Bless their hearts, but they're as exciting as watching paint dry. Their slow burn romance was sweet at first, but it took a nosedive when Roger started pressuring Bree to tie the knot. Instead of understanding her desire to take things slow, he made her feel like she was leading him on. Since then, their relationship has felt forced and lacks any real passion. The writers tried to make us believe they were the next Jamie and Claire, but let's be honest, they were more like the couple you forgot about during the bathroom break. Their love scenes? They just didn't sizzle like Jamie and Claire's. Even Sam Heughan couldn't wrap his head around the idea that Bree and Roger were considered hotter by some. I can't blame him. And Roger? Let's just say he's not exactly Prince Charming. He needs to learn that relationships are a two-way street, not just his personal show. Honestly, other couples on the show like Marsali and Fergus or Murtaugh and Jocasta have more spark than Bree and Roger. So don't give up on the show just yet. Let's talk about a moment that made the fans extremely mad. Here's the twist. It didn't even happen on the show. Many of us devoted fans have been patiently waiting for season 7, trying to fill the void in any way possible. Some decided to reread the original book series by Diana Gabaldon. And guess what? They stumbled upon a major plotline blunder. In the books, young Ian and Brianna share an intense moment during a joint expedition to find woolly mammoth bones. Young Ian opens up about his time with the Mohawk tribe and having to leave his wife, Emily. The TV version skips all that and replaces it with a chat between young Ian and Jamie. I can't even comprehend why they would cut such an emotional and pivotal scene. It was a missed opportunity to explore the bond between these adoptive cousins. We all shed some serious tears while reading it, and they just left it out. Unbelievable. Hopefully season 7 will give us some hard-hitting scenes that take away from this tragedy. Speaking of tragedies, here's one scene that was so extreme, many people stopped watching the show after it, while others had nightmares for days. I'm talking about the season 1 finale and that horrifying scene between Randall and Jamie. In this jaw-dropping episode, Jamie strikes a deal with the sadistic Captain Jack Randall. But here's where things get really twisted. To ensure his wife's safety, Jamie allows Randall to have his way with him. It's like they turned the intensity dial right up to 11. The scene itself is something else. Randall violently assaults Jamie, beats his hand to a pulp, nails it to a table, and oh, did I mention the branding with a red-hot seal? It's beyond cruel and left fans disturbed, and understandably so. They were already fed up with the excessive violence against women in other shows, so seeing their beloved male protagonist go through this level of torture didn't sit well with anyone. Loyal fans of the show felt let down and wondered why the creators went to such extreme lengths in the first place. I can't blame them for being upset. It was a tough pill to swallow, and I felt sick watching the whole thing unfold. Sure, sometimes shows push the boundaries for shock value, but it's also important to consider the impact it has on the audience. So from that horrific scene with Randall and Jamie in season 1, to how annoying Brianna can be, these were the times Outlander pissed off fans.